Hello, ladies and gentlemen, listen me carefully. One of the greatest illusions we live with is this idea that we'll always have more time, that we can delay the work, delay the decision, delay the dream. Tomorrow, we say. Next month, we convince ourselves. When I'm ready, we whisper to silence the guilt. But let me be blunt with you, there is no perfect moment. And the time you think you have, it's slipping away. Every single second, quietly, relentlessly. You keep saying you're waiting for motivation, waiting for clarity, waiting for someone to believe in you. But let me ask you something, from one struggler to another. How much more of your life are you willing to waste waiting? There's a voice inside you, the real you, the one that knows what you're capable of, the one that doesn't care about fear, opinions, or past mistakes. That voice is powerful. It's loud, but you've buried it beneath years of doubt, rejection, excuses, and silence. And every time you hesitate, every time you choose comfort over courage, you bury it deeper. But the truth is, you already know what needs to be done. You've known for a while. That project you keep delaying, that habit you need to break, that move you've been avoiding. It's not a mystery. It's not unclear. What's missing isn't the knowledge. What's missing is your decision to show up for yourself with no backup plan. No, maybe. Just now. People often ask me, Shah Rukh, what's the secret? Let me tell you, it's not talent, it's not connections, it's not luck. It's the willingness to do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Whether you're tired, whether you're scared, whether no one's clapping for you yet, you do it anyway. Because you made a promise to yourself. And that promise, that is sacred. You will never rise while living like a victim. You will never lead while thinking like the world owes you something. And you will never find strength in the comfort zone. The comfort zone is where dreams are buried. The comfort zone is where the world tells you, this is enough for you. And you quietly agree. You weren't born for that. You weren't born to blend in and fade out. You were born to make a mark. But you don't make a mark by watching life happen. You don't become unstoppable by watching videos, liking quotes, and talking about potential. You become something when you show the hell up, when you stop entertaining the weak version of you, when you stop feeding your distractions and start feeding your discipline. People will always tell you to slow down, to play safe, to fit in. They'll say things like, don't burn out. Don't be so hard on yourself. Be realistic. But you know what I've learned? Being realistic is the fastest way to become average. And average is not why you were put here. You weren't built for mediocre. You weren't built to repeat someone else's script. You were built to write your own. With fire, with madness, with raw hunger. And let me tell you, it's going to get hard. You're going to face days when you don't feel like getting out of bed. Days when you feel invisible. Days when the noise in your head is louder than anything outside. But you get up anyway, you push through anyway. Not because it's easy, but because it's yours, your dream, your life, your fight. This world respects those who take ownership, who say, whatever happens, I'll handle it. Who walk into storms and still choose to build. People like that don't beg, they don't blame, they become. So stop waiting for someone to save you. Stop waiting for the calendar to align with your courage. Stop treating your purpose like an option. It's not an option, it's a calling. It's the reason you feel restless at night. It's the reason you can't settle like others do. Because deep inside, you're not meant to live a small life. But you can't step into a big life with small habits. You can't lead with laziness and expect legacy. You can't sleep on your potential and wake up with power. You have to earn it. Every single day, in silence, in repetition, in sacrifice. There's a version of you waiting to be unleashed. A version so focused, so committed, so fierce, nothing can stop it. Not failure. Not rejection, not loneliness. But that version won't show up for a person who still lives in excuses. That version shows up when you decide to act like your life depends on it. Because it does. You want to change your life? Then start moving, start building, start showing up without the applause. Start facing the mirror with honesty. Start doing the thing you've avoided. Start now. Because while you wait, time doesn't. While you second guess, someone else is out there working. While you rehearse your fears, someone is out there taking the shot. And one day you'll look back and realize the only thing that ever stood between you and everything you ever wanted was your decision to begin. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Right now, I've seen it all, from sleeping on floors with no money to standing in front of cameras with the world watching. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. The only thing standing between who you are and who you want to be is your willingness to take complete control of your life. Not partial, not when it's convenient, complete. You've got to stop outsourcing your power to the world around you. Stop waiting for the perfect environment. Stop blaming your past. Stop expecting someone else to fix the chaos inside you. No one's coming. No one's coming to rescue you, to believe in you, to fight for you. You've got to do it yourself. Because the moment you decide that no one else gets to control your story, that's the moment you become dangerous in the best way. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they keep handing over the steering wheel of their lives to people who were never meant to drive. They listen to opinions that were never asked for. They follow rules made by those who never dared to break their own. They let society tell them what's realistic, what's possible, what's allowed. Let me tell you something. You don't need permission to live your truth. You don't need a certificate from the world to dream outrageously. You don't need applause to act like a king. What you need is to stop asking and start claiming. What you need is to take the pen out of everyone else's hand and write your own damn script. I've been told I wasn't good enough, not tall enough, not fair enough, not polished enough. They said I wouldn't make it. And for a moment, I almost believed them. But then I asked myself, who are they to define what I can become? Who are they to put a ceiling on my fire? That's the moment I decided. I will not be defined by limitation. I will not be reduced to someone's version of realistic. I will not wait for validation. I will take control. And so must you. You want change? Then you've got to be willing to own every single part of your life, even the messy ones, even the parts you didn't choose. Your pain, your mistakes, your disappointments. Don't run from them. Don't play the victim. Don't hide behind the story that someone else built for you. Face it. Own it. Use it. Because power doesn't come from perfection. It comes from ownership. And once you own your story, no one can use it against you. Once you stop hiding, no one can dim your light. Once you stop blaming, you unlock every door that ever held you back. Listen to me. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. You can control whether you get up. You can control how hard you fight. You can control your focus, your energy, your choices, your drive. And let me tell you, when you start controlling the things you once thought you couldn't, start shifting to. This life doesn't respond to doubt. It responds to boldness. And boldness isn't just about being loud. It's about being clear. Clear about who you are. Clear about what you want. Clear about what you will no longer tolerate from yourself and from the world. If you let fear control you, then fear will write your story. If you let procrastination control you, then your future will always be postponed. If you let excuses control you, then greatness becomes a theory, not a reality. But when you take control, real control, your life starts to move. Opportunities show up, not because they weren't there before, but because now you're finally able to see them. You're finally ready to grab them. You're finally ready to stop shrinking and start rising. It all begins the moment you say, I am done being at the mercy of everything outside me. I am done blaming my parents, my school, my ex, the economy, my boss, the critics, the system. I am done blaming the weather and my past and my scars. I'm taking the wheel. I'm not a passenger anymore. I'm the damn driver. That's where your power is. That's where transformation begins. When you stop asking life to be easier and start asking yourself to get stronger. When you stop waiting for the path and start building it with your bare hands. You don't need everything to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to decide. No more excuses. No more delay. No more sleepwalking through the life you say you want. And yes, it'll be uncomfortable. People will say, you've changed. And you know what? They're right. Because you have to change. You have to become the kind of person who is worthy of the life you dream of. You have to evolve into someone who takes the hits, learns the lesson, and comes back sharper, stronger, louder. No one is coming to hand you your dream. It's you. You and the fight inside you. You and the fire you've ignored for too long. It's time to let it burn. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to stop explaining. Take control. Because the second you do, the world doesn't get to tell you who you are anymore. You do. There's something you need to hear, and I want you to hear it not with your ears, but with your spine, with your heart, with every bone in your body. You are not here to be liked. You are here to become undeniable, unshakable, unstoppable. But that won't happen if you keep softening yourself to make others comfortable. That won't happen if you keep apologizing for your ambition, your strength, your hunger. You want to build a life that no one can touch. Then stop playing like everyone else. You want respect? Then stop chasing approval. Approval is cheap, approval fades. But respect, real lasting respect, comes from doing the work when no one is watching and becoming so damn good they can't ignore you. You see, the world doesn't respect noise. It respects results. It doesn't care how many dreams you have. It cares what you build. The world doesn't hand crowns to people who just talk. It hands them to people who deliver relentlessly, fearlessly, consistently. And to do that, you've got to raise your standard, not just when people are watching, especially when they aren't, when it's dark, when it's hard, when nothing feels fair. Because it's in those moments you're either shaping your power or surrendering it. Let me ask you, how many times have you lowered your voice so someone else could feel tall? How many times have you played small just to fit in? How many times have you held back your truth because you didn't want to offend? And what did it give you? Did it give you peace? Or did it give you regret? Let me tell you what I know. They only respect you when you stop needing their respect. They only listen when you speak from a place of power, not permission. This world isn't kind to the hesitant. It's not gentle with the unsure. It eats up the passive and remembers the fearless. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. You have to be willing to be disliked. You have to be willing to walk alone if that's what it takes to walk your truth. Because the moment you stop betraying yourself to keep everyone happy, that's the moment you step into your own skin. That's when the world starts to see you, the real you, the undeniable one. I've faced it. I've walked through rooms where people whispered that I didn't belong. I've read headlines that tried to box me in. And I've smiled. Not because it didn't hurt, but because I knew who I was. I knew what I came to do. And I knew I wasn't going to let anyone's opinion become my prison. You want to be powerful. Then stop giving people the remote control to your self-worth. Stop letting comments shake you. Stop letting silence break you. Stop letting likes or applause define whether or not you're on the right path. Because if your vision requires permission, it's not a vision, it's a performance. And you are not here to perform, you are here to transform, to burn so brightly in your truth that it sets everything around you on fire. And listen, I get it. It's hard, it's lonely, it's brutal sometimes. You show up every day with discipline and the world still looks the other way. You pour your heart out and no one claps. You try again and again and again and all you get is silence. But that's the test, that silence, that's the test of your integrity, of your hunger, of your truth. And let me promise you something. If you pass that test, if you keep moving through the silence, through the setbacks, through the mockery, you'll come out on the other side untouchable. You'll become the one they can't replace, the one they can't forget, the one who showed up when others ran. That's the version of you the world is waiting for, not the watered down version, not the agreeable one, not the polite and polished one, the real one. The fierce one. The one who knows what they bring and never apologizes for it. You think people will like you more if you shrink. They won't. They'll forget you. But if you stand in your full power, with your voice steady and your eyes clear, even the ones who doubt you will feel something shift. Because there's something magnetic about someone who knows who they are. Someone who doesn't flinch. Someone who doesn't beg. Someone who is so focused on becoming, they no longer care about belonging. That's who you need to be. Not for them. For you. For the younger version of you who dreamed without fear. For the future version of you who's waiting to be proud. So stop walking into rooms like you're lucky to be there. Walk in like you belong, like you earned it, like you've bled for it. Because you have, and if you haven't yet, you will. Let your presence speak louder than your words. Let your consistency become your reputation. Let your silence in the face of noise be your sharpest weapon. And when the world asks who you are, don't explain it. Show them. You don't owe anyone comfort, you owe yourself greatness. So don't aim to be accepted, aim to be remembered. Don't try to fit in. Try to stand out so boldly that your shadow alone inspires fear, respect and awe. That's power, that's legacy. There is one thing I need you to understand. No one is going to hand you the throne. No one is going to move aside and say, here, take it. Rule your life. That's not how the world works. And if you're still waiting for someone to give you permission to take control, to rise, to dominate your space, you'll be waiting your entire life. You have to claim your position like a king, and kings don't ask. Kings don't apologize for their power. They walk in, they own the room, and they lead. Not because someone said they could, but because they decided they would. Let me tell you something real, life will never be fair. It's not designed to be fair, it's not designed to be gentle or easy. You will be tested, you will be pushed, you will be overlooked, underestimated, even laughed at, and still you rise. Not because life is fair, but because you refuse to stay down. That's what makes a ruler. That's what makes a person dangerous. Not in violence, but in conviction. I didn't become who I am because the road was smooth. I became who I am because I stopped expecting the road to be smooth. I stopped waiting for someone to see me, and I decided to see myself. I stopped hoping they'd understand me, and I started understanding what I was made of. And that changed everything. The truth is, you don't need more motivation, you don't need more advice, you need to wake up to the fact that this is your kingdom, your life, your path. And every time you delay, every time you hesitate, every time you shrink back into comfort, you hand it away. You hand away the crown, you hand away your edge. I've seen so many people with fire in their hearts and excuses on their tongues. So many people who want power but are afraid of the pressure that comes with it. You want to lead, but you don't want the weight. Then you're not ready. Because leadership isn't about being followed, it's about carrying the weight no one else can carry and doing it with dignity. Doing it without begging for applause. You want to command respect? Then start acting like the captain of your soul. Start walking like someone who doesn't just have potential, but who is fulfilling it. Start moving like someone who knows time is running out, and every second you waste in doubt, in fear, in laziness, it's gone. You don't get it back. You never get it back. You're not entitled to success. You're not owed greatness. You earn it. You bleed for it, you take the hits and still move forward. And no matter how many people mock you or doubt you or leave you, you continue to walk like a ruler, because rulers don't need validation to know their worth. They don't need cheers to do what needs to be done. Let them talk, let them doubt, let them stay comfortable. That's not your lane. Your lane is discipline. Your lane is purpose. Your lane is pressure and persistence. You weren't built for mediocrity. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to break patterns, to set fire to limitations, to stand where others bowed. So I'm asking you, when are you going to stop playing at life like it's a rehearsal? When are you going to stop treating your gifts like an option and start treating them like a responsibility? Because you have something inside you that the world has never seen before. But the world doesn't care until you make them care. The world doesn't listen to potential, it listens to performance. It doesn't reward effort alone, it rewards impact. So if you want to rule your life, you've got to be brutally honest with yourself. Where are you slacking? Where are you hiding? Where are you pretending to be busy just to avoid doing what actually matters? Those little lies you tell yourself, they don't hurt anyone else. They hurt you. They keep you stuck. They keep your crown buried under excuses. But the second you take full control, full ownership, everything changes. When you decide, this is my life, my name, my legacy, you stop waiting for the stars to align. You stop blaming your circumstances. You start creating, you start building. You start becoming so focused, so disciplined, so relentless that the world has no choice but to pay attention. That's what being a ruler means. It's not about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself, your emotions, your decisions, your discipline. It's about being the kind of person who doesn't flinch when life gets hard, but tightens the grip and pushes harder. Because your crown is not made of gold, it's made of grit. It's made of nights you didn't sleep. It's made of sweat, of resilience, of failure, and of fire. It's not given. It's earned through every moment you refuse to quit, through every battle you fight alone. So stop playing small. Stop waiting for signs. Stop second guessing your power. Walk into your life like you own every part of it. Stand tall even when your knees are shaking. Speak with conviction even when your voice trembles. And above all, never hand your crown to fear, to doubt, or to people who were never built to carry it. Because this is your kingdom, and it's time the world knew who you are. If there's one thing I want to say to you today, it's this. Stop expecting applause for doing what you're supposed to do. You don't get medals for showing up. You don't get standing ovations for keeping your promises. You don't get praise every time you act with integrity. That's not how greatness is built. That's how mediocrity survives. You're not here to be patted on the back every 5 minutes. You're here to do something powerful. You're here to rise without needing an audience. Somewhere along the way, we've been conditioned to believe that every effort deserves a reward, that every good deed must be recognized. But that's not real life. That's not how leaders operate. That's not how warriors train. You must become the kind of person who doesn't just act when it's visible. You act because it's your standard, because it's who you are, even when no one is looking. You want to build something that lasts, then let go of your need to be seen. Let go of your obsession with being praised. Let go of this constant craving for validation. Validation is a trap. It's a slow poison. It feeds the ego but starves the soul. Because once you become addicted to it, you stop acting for truth. You start acting for claps. And let me tell you, those claps can disappear in an instant. When I started out, I didn't have an audience. I didn't have the luxury of instant praise or constant encouragement. What I had was belief. What I had was hunger. And that hunger wasn't satisfied by someone else's words. It was only satisfied by the work day in, day out. Silent, focused, ruthless. You need to understand consistency is power, but it's also lonely. You will show up when no one notices. You will work when no one cares. You will stay disciplined while others take shortcuts. And you must be okay with that, because those lonely hours, that quiet grind, that's where the real transformation happens. Everyone wants to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. Wake up early, stay late, sacrifice comfort, say no to distractions, and yes to discipline. But let me tell you something, if you need a round of applause every time you do something hard, you'll never last. Because applause isn't always there, but your standard should be. You shouldn't be extraordinary because people are watching. You should be extraordinary because it's in your blood. Because you've decided mediocrity is not your story. Because you've decided that showing up strong, even in silence, is more powerful than showing off. Do you know what separates the legends from the rest? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's their ability to show up unshaken, whether they're on stage or in the shadows, whether there's a camera or not, whether the world sees it or doesn't. They show up and they deliver. Period. And that's what I want from you. Not performance, but power. Not drama, but discipline. I want you to raise your level so high that even your average days look like someone else's peak. I want you to become so consistent, so sharp, so grounded, that people don't even realize how hard you work. They just see the results and wonder how you did it. You don't need to broadcast every sacrifice. You don't need to announce every move. Let your work speak. Let your character echo in silence. Let your discipline leave a mark louder than your words. You think the world is watching your every move. It's not. Most of the time, no one cares. But that's not a bad thing, it's a gift. It gives you the freedom to fail, to experiment, to fall and rise without the pressure of performance. Use it. Use it to become fierce. Use it to grow quietly and let the noise come later, only when it's earned. You know, people often ask me what the secret is. How do you stay at the top? How do you stay relevant? How do you keep winning? The truth is simple. I stopped expecting it to be easy. I stopped expecting to be clapped for. I started relying on my own drive, my own fire, my own obsession with excellence. And once I stopped needing anything from outside, I became unstoppable from the inside. That's the version of you I want to see. The version that walks into the gym when no one is cheering. The version that studies harder even when the world's asleep. The version that builds, grinds, learns, repeats. Not for attention, but because it's a non-negotiable. Because it's who you are now. So if no one's noticing you, good. If no one's clapping, perfect. That's when you train. That's when you build. That's when you earn the right to one day stand tall and say, I did this, not for the applause, but in spite of its absence. Every time you act without being watched, you gain strength. Every time you push without being praised, you gain edge. Every time you choose the hard thing, not the popular thing, you gain power. Silent power. Real power. Because when the lights do come on, and when the world finally does notice, you won't flinch. You won't fold. You'll be ready, not because they clapped for you, but because you clapped for yourself in the dark again and again and again. That's the kind of power they can't take away. That's the kind of greatness that lasts. Let me tell you something that nobody says enough. Your emotions are powerful, but they are not your master. You are not weak because you feel deeply. You are not broken because life hits you hard. You are human. But the moment your emotions start driving your actions without direction, without control, you hand over your life to chaos. And that's not who you are meant to be. There will be days when your heart is heavy, your mind is scattered, and your confidence is shattered. Days when the weight of everything feels unbearable. I've been there. More than once. I've had moments where I questioned myself, where I felt like giving in. But I learned something vital. The storm inside doesn't define me unless I let it, and neither should it define you. You have the power to feel everything and still choose to move forward. You have the power to face heartbreak, betrayal, rejection, failure, and still rise like nothing touched your soul. That's not denial, that's dominance. Emotional dominance. The ability to say, yes, I feel it, but no, it won't destroy me. That's where real strength is born. You can't rule your life if you're constantly reacting. You can't lead if you crumble every time life doesn't go your way. Because life isn't going to wait for you to feel better. It doesn't pause for your healing. It doesn't slow down because you're hurt. So, if you want to win, if you want to rise, you've got to learn to lead yourself even when you're bleeding internally. That's the mark of a warrior. That's the spirit of a king. Not someone who never feels, but someone who feels deeply and yet makes sharp decisions. Someone who experiences pain, but doesn't let pain become the captain of the ship. You're not soft for having emotions, but you become weak when you let them rule you. You become fragile when your identity is tied to temporary emotions. Anger will come, sadness will come, doubt will creep in. But you must be bigger than all of it. You must become the kind of person who stands tall even while their world is shaking. I'm not asking you to fake strength. I'm asking you to build it, brick by brick, thought by thought, decision by decision. Every time you take a breath and respond instead of react, you're winning. Every time you let go of the impulse to explode, to lash out, to fall into despair, you're winning. Every time you choose discipline over drama, power over pity, you're becoming untouchable. Because emotional control is not about suppression. It's about selection. It's about knowing which emotion serves your mission and which ones are distractions. It's about knowing when to feel, when to reflect, and when to move like a storm with zero apologies. Don't let momentary emotions sabotage lifelong dreams. Don't let a bad day convince you you have a bad life. Don't let someone else's lack of love make you question your worth. The world will not always be kind. People will disappoint you. Life will test you in ways you didn't see coming. But your job is not to become bitter. Your job is to become stronger. Let people underestimate you, let them walk away, let the noise come. You stay focused, you stay unshaken, because that's what leaders do. That's what winners do. We don't react to everything. We choose our battles. We save our energy. We speak when it counts. And we strike when it's necessary. You want to know who becomes unstoppable? The one who's already been broken and still walks like a giant. The one who has cried in silence, screamed inside, questioned everything, and still shows up with fire in their eyes. That person, that soul is not fragile. That soul is forged in pain. That soul is dangerous. And you have that power. Don't you dare let anyone, not even your own fear, convince you otherwise. Don't let temporary emotion convince you to make permanent decisions. Don't ruin the next 10 years because of the next 10 minutes. Control is not weakness. It is royalty. It is strength in silence. It is courage in restraint. You see, the world is full of noise, people reacting, lashing out, quitting, drowning in the roller coaster of their own emotions. But then there are a few, very few, who walk steady, speak with weight, act with purpose, and rule without chaos. Be one of them. And no, it's not easy. You will mess up. You will lose it sometimes. You'll react. You'll cry. You'll fall apart. That's okay. That's part of the process. But you must always return to your center, return to that calm, dangerous version of you, the one who feels deeply but still commands the moment. You want respect. Master yourself. You want power. Conquer your moods. You want success. Stay grounded even when you're on fire inside, because that's what will separate you. Not your looks, not your talent, not your connections, but your ability to be in control when others are losing their minds. You've already survived storms others couldn't handle. You've already endured what could have broken you. So why stop now? Why hand over the wheel of your life to an emotion that will pass by tomorrow? No, this is your time. This is your stage. And you need to show up like a force of nature, fierce, focused, and emotionally unshakable. Let others lose their control. Let others drown in drama. But not you. You're here for something greater. You're built for higher things. So tighten your grip, raise your head, and remember, you are the ruler of your emotions, not their slave.